So I promised that I was going to vlog the Rhinebeck experience. I haven't left yet. I'm actually not leaving till tomorrow, but I thought, well, preparations are happening now. And this is also kind of a reminder to myself of some of the things that I do that work and don't work. Because, you know, I like being prepared for trips. Road warriors, they know what shit they need to get done to make the trip the best, right? So starting off the day, I got to chat with Chevis a little bit, and we talked some logistics and kind of just had coffee together. And then I have taken my lunch break to go grab some bagels from Chewy's Bagels because I don't want to spend a fortune eating out on this trip. And Chewy's Bagels is amazing. Thanks to my friend Marina for suggesting them. And now I'm off to get a few more snacks, and then it's home to get some work done and start packing. So Rhinebeck, we're coming for you. All right, so we've got an epic snack situation going on. Grape leaf rolls, dolmas, to those of you that know. Really good angel hair, Asiago pasta salad, cucumber salad, some veggie spring rolls with a peanut sauce. These look super yummy, so we're gonna try those. And then some other chocolates going on here. My Chewy bagels, you can be very jealous. These are so good. Maybe I'll share with some friends. Then we got some fruit and other salty snacks. And of course, Supervisor Ophelia's meals while I am gone, all measured out. So yeah, road snacks, can check that off the list. It's really early, and I'm not a morning person, but despite 2 nights of no sleep, wow, I got a few hours each night maybe, it's time to hit the road. I see melatonin in my future for tonight. All right, here we go, folks. Heading to Rhinebeck. Getting total Dirty Dancing vibes here. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see what the room looks like. So I promised to vlog, and it's technically day one, and I'm sort of doing that. I didn't vlog on the road, like when I stopped or anything, just because I was exhausted and needed to just keep going. And you know, what am I gonna tell you guys? Hey, stop for gas again. Anyway, got to the lodge. It's super cute. Already trashed it, sort of. It feels like I'm staying at like my grandmother's house or something. It's really cute and cozy. I much prefer it to like a Holiday Inn or something like that. And the lady that checked me in, who I think is the owner, was really, really nice. So, you know, driving through Northern Virginia was a nightmare, but I knew that was going to happen. And of course it rained almost the whole time that, I'm just going to spin you around and make you motion sick. Yeah, it rained almost the whole time, most of the time. And if it wasn't raining, it was cloudy, but Pennsylvania was gorgeous. It was giving me, you know, fall, Halloween, spooky vibes with like a lot of fog and stuff like that. So I felt like I was in the middle of a spooky movie. It was really cool. This part of New York is gorgeous too. And let's see, I feel like other things happened, but I guess not. Yeah, Chevis and Dan are already here. Tammy from Cinematics Games should be here soon. I didn't see John and Aquila yet. So they're probably, I don't remember if they're gonna get here tonight or tomorrow morning. I think John said they were gonna break up their trip. So I'll at least see them at some point between now and tomorrow. Oh, just one observation. People in the north are better drivers. Now, I did not take 95, so, you know, we'll have to remember that. But I drive up north the way that I went through Pennsylvania before I drive south again any day. So, good job, Pennsylvanians and New Yorkers. All right, I'm gonna eat a quick snack because I'm starving Marvin, and then go say hi to Travis and Dan. And more later, folks. Bye. I just pulled into Woolen Folk. I am about 20 or so minutes early just because I did not plan this trip logistically as well as I would like to have, but that's okay. Learning for next time, because there will be a next time. So just kind of wanted to recap a little bit before I go in. You know, we can't get in the doors. People are already walking in to line up. Adela! Okay, literally just, oh my gosh, I just saw Adela and Jimmy and ran through traffic to go say hi. I'm terrible. Okay, so I've already seen Gigi and Shelby, Adela and Jimmy, and hopefully I wasn't too obnoxious because I know that they're all trying to get inside to get ready for all of us to be there. Last night got to hang out with Chevis and Dan and Tammy from Cinematic Skeins. Aquila and Johnny Bo got in a little bit later, kind of around the time that I was ready to go to bed because I was exhausted. So I'll get to hang out with them a little bit more later on today. All right, so logistics. Here's the deal, and I'm hopefully gonna help some other people out in the future who decide to go to Rhinebeck who have never gone before. Because the confusing thing is that everyone just calls it Rhinebeck weekend, but Rhinebeck is the place that we're going to. But there are tons and tons of festivals and events going on. And then there's New York Sheep and Wool Festival. That's the main event. Like when people say I'm going to Rhinebeck, like that's the main event that everyone plans on going to. Well, when I decided to schedule my trip, I just heard everybody talking about Woolen Folk, which is today on Friday. So I thought that was the main event. And so I figured, well, I'll just drive up Thursday, hang out Friday, drive back Saturday, which is a lot of driving. That's close to 24 hours worth of driving in 3 days. But, you know, I would have done it a million times over just to see some of the people that I've already seen. Well, then stupid me like finds out. So I find out that Kristen from We Share Needles is coming. And then I find out Maddie's coming. And they say, we're only going to be there Saturday. And I'm like, Saturday? Why in the world wouldn't they go to the main event on Friday? Because the main event is New York Sheep and Wool Festival. But again, not a lot of people make that distinction. So that's when I decided, well, let me just extend my trip and I'll stay Friday and Saturday night too. Well, the place that I had booked, I even waited too late, and I was gonna end up like having a room one night, staying with John and Aquila the second night in their room, and then leaving. And then I realized after a few other people started talking about Rhinebeck that the main event was New York Sheep and Wool Festival, and that's on Saturday. I felt so dumb, but then I started finding out that I'm not the only one that didn't quite know everything that was going on, because there's other things like Cake-a-Palooza and India Entangled, and I don't know about anybody else. I don't know if I can handle that many weekends, that many events in one weekend. So I like my plan of going to Woolen Folk and then going to New York Sheep and Wool on Saturday. I don't think I can handle doing a bunch of other stuff. I might go to the skate thing tonight, but not for a very long period of time because I have to go check into my second hotel. And the lady at Jenny's Country Lodge or Country Manor is awesome. Donna, she tried to save me from myself and get me into actually the same room because someone had to cancel, but the Hyatt that I'm staying at was going to charge me like a whole night's stay plus a fee if I canceled. I just said, you know, I really appreciate it, but I'm just going to stay with you the whole time, Miss Donna, at Jenny's Lodge next year if I'm able to come. I highly recommend it. You guys already saw the room. So if you're like me and you'd feel more cozy in a non-typical like hotel situation, I highly recommend it. Now I know, and for others that don't know who want to go in the future, main event is Saturday and Sunday, New York Sheep and Wool. I hear that Saturday is when it's really crazy, and Sunday a lot of people will go back and shop because it's slowed down a little bit. I'm leaving and going home on Sunday. I'm not going to do the festival 2 days in a row because I'm really mostly here to see people. And little disappointed because as of 10 o'clock this morning, Wool & Folk did not have the podcaster schedule up on their website. But you know, anything could be happening right now. There could be something going on, and you know, they're still trying to coordinate with people. So I'll give them some grace on that one because I can't imagine trying to put something like this together. Let's see. New York and Pennsylvania have stolen my heart. They're just so freaking beautiful. The little town of Rhinebeck it's not far from where I'm staying, or where I was staying last night, is just so adorable. A lot of really cute shops and restaurants and coffee shops. I didn't stop in any of them because I actually brought bagels with me and had coffee in my room this morning because I'm trying to save time and money, you know, by not attempting to eat out every single meal. I feel like I've already won because of all the people I've already seen, and I haven't even gone to the festivals yet. And I'll try not to, you know, bug Gigi and Shelby and Adele and Jimmy too much, since I've already said hi and I am sure they are going to be swarmed. I just have a lot of respect for all of these people coming here like them who are very popular and very high in demand for meeting them, and they're just gonna have swarms of people wanting to say hello to them all day long. And I think I would die a little bit inside by the end of the day. So yeah, mad props to the podcasters and yarn dyers and famous knit stars of the day, of the weekend. You all have my sympathy and my respect for the amount of time that you're gonna have to hang out with all of us. I guess sympathy is not the right word, but I just know that it's probably just wears them out, you know, big time. It would me anyway. I'd want to crawl in a hole and hide for like years afterwards. So cute watching everybody walk past me with their sweaters on. I personally, like, there's no way I could wear a sweater outside. It is 60 degrees. The sun is shining brightly, and it's like pretty much warm outside. I have a sweatshirt just in case I get chilly, but I have a feeling after walking around that is not going to be the case. So part of me is just tempted to sit in the car and wait until Chevis and Dan get here. God, I hope there's enough parking. Maybe a bunch of us should have carpooled. If I had been going back to the same damn hotel as everybody, I would have. Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out what in the world I'm doing here. Like, I'm here sitting in the parking lot, and then there's part of me that's like, fuck, I don't want to go stand in line by myself. I'm gonna be fine. I'm just gonna go. Okay, bye. Hello again, my friends. I am in hotel number 2. I made it through Wool & Folk and got to see pretty much everybody on my list. There might be 1 or 2 folks that I wanted to see that I haven't seen yet. Oh, Maddie and Kristen. Gonna find them come hell or high water tomorrow, and I'm exhausted. I skipped the skate party because I'm just so tired. The festival is amazing today. Wool & Folk was great. I got to see so many awesome people. I'll list it all out and put up photos in between this video and the next clip. Not gonna list it all out here because I'm just brain dead. And yeah, afterwards, take my shoes off while I'm talking to you. Afterwards, we, big group of us, Chevis, Johnny Bo, Aquila, and a few other folks, went and had dinner, had an awesome Reuben, that was tasty. And they went to the skate party and I said, y'all, I just can't do it. I need time to decompress and have quiet so that I'm recharged for tomorrow. So I'm really glad that I didn't plan on going to like multiple events throughout the weekend, then it's just one a day. Still gonna try to make it to Rhinebeck right around the time, New York Sheep and Wool, pardon me, right around the time it opens, kind of like I did today. I liked that, not having to worry too much about parking because it got a little interesting for some people that showed up later at Wool and Folk. Oh, almost dropped the phone. Good sign that this needs to end soon. But yeah, I'm still gonna try to be there at noon, sort of wander around a little bit, and then be on the hill at 1 to see people. And that's if I get out of bed and get moving fast enough tomorrow. I was so tired this morning I could have slept until 10 or 11, but wanted to get to the festival at a decent time. So that's gonna be it for tonight. I am not videoing like while I'm at the events just because I feel weird about putting people on video that I don't know or I don't have like their consent to put the video together and throw it up on YouTube. So I'm really just taking pictures and doing these little vlogs in between each event as recaps. And I'll probably do a recap once I get home and show you the stuff I bought, which so far not much, but that was the plan, is mostly to hang out with people and not buy stuff. So far so good. And yeah, I think I'm gonna chill out, maybe watch a movie or something and pass out. So until tomorrow. All right, I am Rhinebeck ready. I am taking my shellography for when I do costume change and need to take off the sweatshirt, but want to wear something knitted. I do have my wool and honey sweater with me, but it's just gonna be too hot. So it's gonna be too hot for what I'm taking with me anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna get in the car, go get some coffee and some breakfast, and I don't know, wander around until it's time for the festival. Maybe find some folks. See y'all later.
You better give 50, you better give 50, you better give 50, 75, 50, you better give 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 75, try and take a picture of me or the item. 50, you better give 75.
Hi everybody. I'm back in my hotel room. And once again, I did not video. I don't think I videoed anything today. I took a lot of pictures with people. Not all of them are on my phone. So I got to work out how to get some of those. I think mainly from John and Chevis. I think they're the ones with most of the pictures that I'm missing from my Rhinebeck collection. But I thought I'd do a very quick recap tonight of, you know, just the day. And then I'm gonna get up early tomorrow, drive home. Hopefully it won't be too bad. And then my plan is Monday, I'm gonna do a quick wrap up, show you what I bought. Not much. I found a lot of really great yarn for really good prices. Not a lot of great yarn. I did not buy a lot of yarn. And what I did buy was like killer prices. I already said that. So moving on. So got up this morning, went to the Poughkeepsie Grind for coffee. And before I get into too much, I will say that I know I've already said that I'm going to do it differently next time and just already go ahead and book a hotel or a house or whatever for the entire weekend. Now that I know what in the world goes on and, you know, all the different events and when they happen. And I will say probably the biggest thing I've learned as far as where to stay is I understand why people are staying at like lodges and houses. I mean, this is a Hyatt. It's not like it's bad. It's a hotel room, and it's way, way, way more expensive than the lodge. I would say close to 2 nights at the lodge is 1 night at the Hyatt. But I did what I did. No regrets. So yeah, that's a tip, just to plan early. And some folks are staying at some beautiful places. That's the other thing. Just a gorgeous area. So a lot of opportunity for some cool spots to hang out at. Let's see. Okay, so went to Poughkeepsie Grind, got coffee and a sandwich. That place was really nice, and since it wasn't near Rhinebeck, it was really easy to get in and out. That's the other thing. Like, trying to go to restaurants and coffee shops and whatnot in Rhinebeck, from what I heard and assumed, and then it was confirmed, you just can't get in anywhere. So every time we've gone out to eat or grabbed something like coffee, it has been outside of Rhinebeck, and we've had just a really great experience. Not having to worry about really long waits or not getting in anywhere. So that was really good to figure out before we even got trapped in trying to do something in Rhinebeck outside of the festival. Let's see. So I got my coffee, drove to the festival, parked, and was already feeling like a little weird this morning. Didn't sleep super well last night, and because I wasn't staying like with my people, my group, and I had to drive a little bit further than I really wanted to get to the festival. I was feeling a little anxious about that. I parked, I walked in, and it was just fucking madness. I got there about noon, and I tried walking through a couple of buildings and had my mask on in the heavily populated areas, even outside. If I didn't have a decent amount of space between myself and my group, I had my mask on. But luckily that didn't have to happen often, because I did kind of hide from the crowds a little bit. See, I got into one of the buildings, one of the larger ones, and it was just so packed. I don't want to say that people were just outright rude, but it was kind of like every person for themselves. And I just wasn't about that, because as I've said many times before, either on here or to people that I saw, this trip was really more about the people and experiencing the community than it was anything else, which totally succeeded. So I kind of almost had a panic attack in one of the buildings, and then, you know, probably 30, 45 minutes in, I think I said this a lot today too, because I process by talking about things out loud. I was like, I'm not going to make it very long if this is what this is about. There are just so many people everywhere. It was hard to just get out of the building or get to a food line. Like, the food lines were insane. Thank goodness I had something substantial to eat before I got there. So got out of the buildings. I did find some yarn to make one of my brothers some fingerless mitts, and maybe some for myself. It's an all natural wool. I don't think it was even dyed. I don't know, it's still in the car. And I loved it because it was pretty and simple, and there was nobody in the checkout line. And that is the only thing that I bought, because it was so overwhelming. So I finally made my way over to the hill, and Tammy was there from Cinematic Skeins. I think it was Tammy at first, and the rest of the crew was kind of like milling about on the hill. And yeah, I just stayed in that area for hours, got with people that I knew, and I could kind of chill out. I was fine. I mean, we closed the place down. We were some of the last ones. I mean, there were a decent amount of people left, but like, when I'm walking from my car to get into Rhinebeck, like I would have never found my car. It would have taken forever if I had left before it was over. But walking towards my car, I saw it from, hundreds and hundreds of feet away. So that was kind of nice. But yeah, I met so many people. I got to see Kevin and Ray again because I didn't get a picture with them yesterday just because they just had so many people following them around basically. And I saw the grocery girls again and got to apologize to them for tearing up on them the day before because, I watched their podcast and discovered them in a time when I was really struggling with some anxiety and depression, and watching them and a couple of other folks really helped lift my mood on really dark days. And so just knowing how vulnerable and real they make themselves to everyone else, and the fact that I'm a crier, I cried on them yesterday. But then today I was like, hey, thanks for letting me cry all over you. And they were like, oh, you're so sweet, whatever. They don't care. They probably don't even remember. And that's okay, because I'm sure they were flooded with people to chat with this weekend. My friend Dorothy from Knit, Knot, and Weave was able to make it. I know it was a little difficult, her trip at first, but she succeeded in making it to Rhinebeck. I got to meet Denise, Earth Tone Girls. So excited. She is just as adorable and wonderful in person. All of them were, as I thought they all would be. I met the Nitty Witch, Vanessa, I believe is her name. And I just started watching her podcast, so it was really cool to see her in person. Who else? I know I'm forgetting folks, and I'll have to go through and I'll make some notes. And I'm also going to try to do a reel of pictures at the end of this vlog if anybody cares to see that. And if not, that's fine, because then I have it for myself next time. Maddie and Kristen, got to hang out with them. That was amazing. We talked about next year already. We're thinking maybe we'll do some of the smaller events, say like on Friday, like Indian Tangled and Woolen Folk, because I had such a blast at Woolen Folk. And then skipping Rhinebeck on Saturday, maybe hanging out in like New York City for the day. And I'll have to think about that one a little bit more, because I'll have already driven 10.5 hours, and I think we'll be on the road for like, I'm gonna make up some time, like, what is it, 2 hours from here to the city? I have no idea. But maybe spend the day in the city or doing like other things outside of Rhinebeck, because it is fucking bonkers. It was bonkers, y'all. It was bonkers. And then, and so then we would go to Rhinebeck on Sunday and maybe actually do some shopping, because my goal is to have just slow down a lot next year and save up for things a little bit more and chill out on the impulse buying. So yeah, we already made plans for next year. We're hoping Nicole from Professor Pearl will come with us. So got to hang out with them, got to see Tania again. I feel so bad. I mean, I was with my normal crew, Chevis, Dan, John, Aquila, Tammy, Dorothy. Like, we had our normal crew there. I obviously got to see them again. But I know I'm forgetting people, and that's okay, because I'll remember them later. Oh, I got to see Justine and Lori again. Skein Yarn Shop. They have a podcast and a store. Oh my gosh. Dorothy, bless her heart, stood in line for an hour for these apple cider donuts that were, just heavenly. I don't know if I could have handled standing in line for an hour, but I'm glad that she did and that she shared. She is such a sweetheart. I just adore her. And I wish that I had had the opportunity to just spend more time just hanging out with her. But I do plan on traveling to Maryland in the next couple of months to hang out with John and Aquila and Dorothy. So we'll get our time then, for sure. I'm sure I'll remember a lot more and probably try to take some notes. I think I'm still I'm not as tired today as I was yesterday. Yesterday I was seriously wiped out. It was a lot being in the sun. It wasn't like it was super hot, but it was warm yesterday, and I'll eat crow. I could have easily pulled off wearing a sweater today, especially since we stayed in the shade on the hill most of the day. I did not spend a ton of time out in the sun shopping, and so I think that's what saved me from not being quite so worn out. And yeah, I was there till 5 with my crew. And then we ended up going to dinner not too far away, but I had to, the spot that I left in the fairgrounds, they made me turn in the opposite direction, and I ended up getting stuck in the worst freaking traffic trying to go to this diner that was like right down the road. So that was kind of a nightmare, and I knew I just had it too easy getting out of the parking lot. And then I was almost at the restaurant and someone almost rear-ended me. They were clearly not paying attention, and all of a sudden looked up and saw that cars were stopped in front of them, and I heard the squeak of the tires and the brakes. There was definitely like a cloud of burned rubber smoke coming off of the wheels. And I'm thinking, if somebody had rear-ended me after all of that traffic, I would have been a raging ball of fucking fire. But luckily it didn't happen. Got to the restaurant and we were all just so tapped out. I am not feeling quite as exhausted now as I was, say, like an hour ago. But again, I think it's because today felt a little bit more chill once I found my group. And then the drive back to the hotel was nice and easy. But I did get some melatonin just in case I'm not leaving anything to chance. I'm gonna go to bed and get up early and get an early start heading home, just in case it's a long drive and it's raining and I want to take it nice and slow and be safe. It's amazing I got to see everybody on my list that I wanted to see, and I had a pretty long list of folks. I did not go and say hi to Andrea Mowry only because there was just so much going on, and I did see her from afar, but I was kind of in the middle of a conversation. She just got done talking to a lot of people. I guess there was a meetup if you knitted her Rhinebeck sweater. So I skipped going over and bothering her. These podcasters have got to know what they're getting themselves into, but I still commend all of them because I can't imagine having to talk to that many people. I mean, even just like Chevis today, she constantly had people coming up to her. And I mean, she did great. She was always happy with a smile on her face, saying hello. And maybe if you know that that's going to happen, it makes it easier when the experience actually occurs. And I think especially yesterday, it was just so wonderful watching people discover each other at Woolen Folk. Folks that, because this happened to me too, like you only see them on Instagram and you only see them on a podcast, but you're friends and you talk to each other constantly, or you're on Zoom knit nights, or you haven't seen each other since the last Fiber Festival, which might have been 2 years ago for some people. And just like the epic, like in a Hollywood movie where people are just running towards each other and embracing, and the hugs and the love that everyone was sharing with each other. This community just, it brings so many of us joy, and you feel like you've really found your people. And who would have known that something as simple as me picking up knitting needles and yarn, and I believe it was actually my friend Justin that inspired me to do it, to quit smoking actually. That's how I got started. Was I needed to do something with my hands. I knew some friends that knitted, and I just gave it a shot to keep my hands busy. And who would have thought, because gosh, that was probably back in 2009, maybe a little bit earlier than that, and it's 2022, it's the rumor anyway. So what is that, 13 years? I'm a former accountant, I know the maths. Yeah, so 13 years ago, I just started knitting scarves so that I could quit smoking. And then 2 years ago, maybe a little over 2 years ago, I started my little podcast and started posting more and more in the knitting community, hashtags on Instagram. And now I have so many more friends this weekend that I didn't have when I drove up. And just driving up, I already had a huge group of people just waiting to hang out with me, you know? So yeah, it's been an incredible experience, minus the anxiety and the panic of the beginning of the day. I am so glad I toughed it out. I'm so glad I made this trip. Hotel bill be damned on my credit card. I saw that balance this morning and I was like, oh, that hurts. So, but it was worth every penny. And even if it takes me, forever to pay it off, that's fine. No, it won't be that bad. It was worth every penny. It was worth every second in traffic and every almost panic attack in some of these larger festivals. I couldn't have asked for a better weekend with more caring and loving people. And I just felt safe, and I was around people that I knew I could trust, even though most of them I hadn't even seen in person or had only just seen in person and really found within the last year. So I'm kind of gushing right now. More of the day is coming back to me a bit, but I do want to wrap this up because I got a little bit of chocolate. And I'm going to eat some chocolate, watch a couple of my booktuber folks that I follow. They have posted a few videos. I think I'll watch one or two of those, maybe knit a little bit on the Musselburgh hat. Oh, I should probably write down. I'll show that to you all. It's already sitting and set up in the bed behind this wall for me to start knitting. I'll show you my progress in the wrap-up video. Maybe start taking some notes for that so I don't forget anything. And yeah, I'll see y'all on the gram. Well, and you'll see me again before the end of it, I'm sure. And hopefully, if you didn't get to see me, that's all right. We have many, many opportunities in the future. I'm pretty sure I'm coming back to Rhinebeck next year. The only way I wouldn't go to Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival is if something super epic happened that prevented me from going. And yeah, we'll all find each other, even if it's on the internet. Maybe I can try to start doing some Zoom knit nights with folks who are interested. So if you're a subscriber, a friend, whatever, and you'd be interested in doing that, let me know. It might take me 6 months to set it up, but it'll happen. All right. Good night. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Adieu. And I will see y'all on the flip side. Okay. And we are back. We are back home. I don't know why I'm saying we. Just me. Well, Ophelia's here, obviously, but I'm going to try to do this wrap-up video in a decent amount of time because it's my lunch break and I definitely have meetings all afternoon. Let's get started with something that Adela and Jimmy said on their YouTube live video episode 0, where they did a recap of their weekend, and I just wanted to call myself out because I did not do a great job masking. I had it in my head on the way there that I was going to wear a mask pretty much the whole time, except for like if I was in my hotel room or with my smaller group. And it was just so easy to get caught up in the moment with people. I managed to have one on when I was like in the larger buildings at New York Sheep and Wool, and in the bathrooms most of the time. But when I was outdoors and in very large crowds, I did not do a great job. And so, with the fact that I know people here in Richmond, friends, family members that are high risk, I did feel a bit irresponsible not asking for anyone to, provide any reassurance or comfort, by the way. We all feel how we feel about the situation. We need to own it. I need to own it. So I am taking precautions this week, masking when I'm around family members and friends, and I'm going to take a couple of tests just to make sure. But just wanted to call that out. I could have done a better job. I hope I didn't make anybody feel uncomfortable who had to wear a mask and saw that I wasn't wearing one, and I will do better. Let's see, I did have a Rhinebeck hangover. I slept about 12 hours Sunday night. Fortunately, I took Monday off and just immersed myself in Instagram posts and other people's videos, just trying to continue to ride that high. Taking the day off after I got back was a great idea, especially since I drove, which I'm pretty sure I'll do that again. I liked having my car there, having control of when I could leave, show up to events, and to get home. So that was a great decision. You know, I know that post-vacation depression is a thing, and so I have looked this up before because as someone that regularly deals with depression and anxiety, I like to find ways to help me curb that as much as possible. It's not always avoidable. But one good thing that I have discovered for post-vacation blues is already having something planned. Like I had dinner with one of my cousins 2 nights ago. So having those plans is really nice. Got to share my adventures with somebody. And I have a couple other smaller things, not like major plans, but just things to look forward to, right? Like one of them is just knowing that I was going to put this video together. So that kind of helps the vacation blues. I think also having a day off after I get back, which is a privileged thing, helped a lot. So that's what I did to combat all of that. Still missing everybody a lot. I started making a Rhinebeck survival list for next year. I think that I would love to do Indian Tangled and Woolen Folk. And then maybe like this Saturday for New York Sheep and Wool. Really only planning on being on the hill and saying hi and already having like food packed because the food lines were insane. And then if I really feel compelled to shop Rhinebeck, then I would do that on Sunday before I leave town. So there are so many people that I met that I know I didn't mention in the vlog. So I'm going to try to run through those really quickly because they're either podcasters or makers or knitting influencers that I would love for y'all to check out. I did make show notes for this. It's literally just going to be a list of links to either their YouTube channel or their shops online. I also linked below how you can get in touch with me. Probably should have said that at the beginning. Let's see. At Woolen Folk, the folks that I don't think that I mentioned before were Piece for Piece podcasting. Got to meet them. That was exciting. Ready to go to Chicago and hang out and have a knitting date. I got to meet the owners of Fig Tree Yarns. They actually live in, I think they said the British Isles, somewhere near France, but it's part of Britain. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. But they have a really nice shop there. I hadn't met them before. We just so happened to sit down while we were having a snack during Woolen Folk near the food trucks and talked for quite a while and just had so much fun meeting them and coincidentally ran into them in Rhinebeck in one of the barns like the next day. So that was really neat to make those new friends. I did get to meet Erin from Coast to Coast Yarn in person for the first time and it was incredible. I've been obsessed with her for so long. Not a shock to most of you who have been around for a while. And so meeting her in person was amazing. I am still glowing from it. I wanted to do a shout out to the non-knitting partners that showed up and helped, you know, just pass notions out to people or carry bags of yarn and project bags and purchases. You all were awesome, and it does sometimes take a non-knitting person with you to keep things a little bit in order because the rest of us are just going crazy, seeing people we haven't seen in a while or for the first time ever, or all the shopping that some of us did and needing someone to help us carry all of that stuff around. So shout out to you all. You make it possible too. I sailed again with Gigi, Shelby, Jimmy, and Adela. This time I failed differently. I was able to hold it together, but I saw them in the parking lot and I know that they were trying to get into Wool & Folk and get set up for, because, you know, they were either part of the podcast patio or they were sponsors. And so I did not get a picture with any of them, but it doesn't matter because it still happened and it was wonderful to see them. And I tried not to go up to people that I'd already seen. That's a lie. I did that to Needles at the Ready on Saturday to get a picture. But I tried not to consume people's time too much if I saw them like more than once. So just because there were so many people that they all had sometimes literally lining up to say hello to them. Oh, speaking of my picture with Needles at the Ready, it was so funny to me anyway, because during the day at Rhinebeck, when I was taking pictures with other folks, I was one of the taller people in the photo, especially in group photos. So I was like conditioned to crouch down a little bit. So I ended up doing that with Kevin and Ray and thinking the whole time, like, why am I standing like this? I don't understand. So that was kind of a funny that was running through my mind. So you shorter folks conditioned me to crouch down by the end of Rhinebeck. Just wanted to do another shout out to the folks that were high in demand during these events, whether you were a maker or an influencer or a podcaster, some sort of sponsor. You all were so wonderful and so gracious with your time, making sure that you gave your attention to the folks that were in front of you. And I know that I really appreciate it, and I know that I'm not alone in saying that. I mean, some of you even brought notions to pass out, which I'm going to show here in just a minute. So it was just obvious that you had already dedicated time to those of us that wanted to meet you. And it was clear that you were there for us just as much as you were there for yourselves. So thank you so much for that. And the vendors too. Oh my gosh, that had to have been an insane amount of work, and you must have all been extremely exhausted. So I hope everybody was nice to you. I started knitting a Musselburgh hat before I went to Rhinebeck, before this weekend, because I wanted to have an easy project to knit on. And let me go grab it just a second. So I used Johnny Bow's colorway, Krampus is Coming, and I even put little markers for y'all. Lighting's a little weird, but it looks good. You can't, I don't know if you can see the stellina or not, but I got through the increases before I left, just so I didn't have to concentrate on that so much when I got there. But then I probably knit about this much while I was there, from here to here. Just a couple inches. And I've been knitting on it ever since. So, yeah, that'll be really nice. A nice little memory just to know, like, when I finally finish the hat, that at least a good chunk of it was done during the Rhinebeck 2022 weekend. So it's the only project I really have to put on my head. So sorry about that, folks. I will hopefully do another regular episode soon. I've already started show notes and I already have ideas for it. So hold me accountable. Give me like another week or so, because I have to get some knitting done, I guess, and some things actually have to happen before I do another video. All right, so that was my Rhinebeck project that I worked on. One really cool thing, and I'm not going to show you like the whole thing because I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to, and if you needed to be at the festival to get the pattern, but there is a Wool & Folk colorwork pattern. Bloop. That was really neat. Somebody had done like the panel, the colorwork pattern, and turned it into like a little knitted bag. So we got that just with our like map and stuff like that. And it was just such a great event. That was probably my favorite one. My favorite thing was Wool & Folk. So I will definitely go back to that next year, for sure, all day long, the whole time. Big Train Yarns, met them. See, I kept all my stuff so I could remember. Tracy gave me a sticker from the Grocery Girls. Super cute. Got to figure out where I'm going to put that. Probably on my Cocoa Knits Makers board, which you can get at Skein Yarn Shop, and they are linked below. They also have a podcast. But I got a Grocery Girl sticker. Be jealous. I shed tears on them. Be jealous. The Breakfast Crew, my friend Tania, I got to see her Friday and Saturday. Got a cool little sticker. And it's cute because, well, she's cute. And I guess everyone in her family has some sort of like breakfast food nickname. I think she's Mrs. Syrup. And I don't remember the rest. So that's where she gets her podcast name. She probably talked about that in her podcast, but I still really need to catch up with folks. And had the cutest little business card for that. And I think I want to do a name tag. A few people had name tags while they were there, and that was a great idea. I'm going to do that next year. Let's see that. Oh, and then I got my friends at Skein Yarn Shop gave me a pin and a sticker. So I got those. These were all free. People were just like passing this shit out. It was amazing. So that was full in focus as far as the notions that I was given. As far as purchases go, I got one small thing for me and then something for a friend. So I got this wool tinctures dye kit. This is the instructions that come with like how to use the little kit that I bought. Don't get too excited, folks. It could take me 6 months before I even try to figure out how to dye 2 skeins. And I got shit going on, so don't get excited. This is not me announcing that I'm going to become a yarn dyer. I'm not saying I won't. I'm not saying that I will. And if it did ever happen, which I'm not saying it will, shit is not happening right now, let me tell you. This company, Abundant Earth Fiber.com, linked below, puts together these wool tinctures color packs. And so I got Moonbow, which is sort of this, that's not going to show up right. It's like a really pretty blue with just a touch of gray in it. It comes with 2 wool tinctures and 2 packets of citric acid, and each tincture will dye 100 grams of wool. And it's for protein fibers only, it says. And they also give you videos, instructions online. So I thought that would be really fun. It was only $12. And I figured this is a great way just to see if I would enjoy this. Even if it's just if I want a sweater's quantity of worsted weight or bulky weight yarn. I mean, buying a sweater's quantity from an indie dyer, 100% worth it, by the way, but not always the cheapest option. So if I wanted to use natural fibers and just dye my own sweater quantity, I could see if I'd ever be interested in that. And that's as far as that will go, because like I said, no promises, not committing, just want to see if it's fun. Next, I went by the Modern Daily Knitting booth and I got some of their Atlas yarn. This is for a friend. Color's close enough. This one's coming out brighter, this one's coming out darker, which is a little strange. But I got, what's this one called? Pear. This is Pear. And then this one is called Sea Glass. So I got a friend of mine this yarn so that she can make a hat or whatever she wanted. And I think that's it for Wool and Folk as far as notions that I was given and things that I purchased. For New York Sheep and Wool on Saturday, I think I already mentioned in an earlier video, so you're gonna see this, that I did not do hardly any shopping because it was insane. But I did get some yarn to make both myself and one of my brothers some fingerless mitts. And this is from Zalinger Wool Company. in Michigan. And I really liked these a lot. Number one, because they're pretty, and number two, because there was nobody in their checkout line at all. So that was amazing and got me in and out of there very quickly. And I'm really excited. I mean, it's not like super soft or anything like that because it is 100% wool. Oh, there is some nylon in there, but it feels very rustic. But I like me some rustic yarns. I guess I forgot to tell you what was in this Atlas yarn. So bad at this today. It's 100% Rambouillet, and it's a light worsted. So that was exciting. Tried to get as many natural fibers as I could. And then just to wrap up the notions that I was given, the Nitty Witch, who I just started following recently. I think I've already said that 3 times. She gave out cards and notions with little bells on them. Can you hear it? I also got a pin from Knit a Rainbow. Super cute. And Kevin gave me a packet, a little, what are the words? Sticker and pin. So, another sticker for the Maker's Board. Oh, that is all that I can think of. If I forgot to mention you and I saw you, please say hi below so that I can remember to say hi back and make sure I'm following you. If you have any questions about, like if I missed linking somebody below, let me know if you're interested and you want that information. And I think I'm going to wrap this up, go eat some lunch, and get back to work. So I hope you stay safe, knit what you want, shelve what you don't want to knit. You do you, and I'll see you on the flip side. Bye.